right, folks, so breaking over the weekend, it turns out that Amanda Bynes actually had an opportunity to appear on the Quiet on Set documentary beside her co-stars. She turned it down. Apparently, her parents did the same thing. We're going to talk about why, as people have had a ton of reactions to this, both very positive and very negative. We're going to look at every facet and break it all down. First of all, welcome to the Christosophy Show, the place where we talk about relevant topics and we shine light into the darkest of places and spaces. This episode will be no different. It's YouTube, so like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss more videos. You know what to do. A little bit of background on myself first. I was a child star myself with Nickelodeon. I was Tyrone on the Backyardigans. I did some commercials and video games, things like that as well. So that's the perspective from which I'll be speaking. But let's talk about Amanda Bynes. She really was a focal point of this show. Nonetheless, she didn't appear. She didn't sit down for an interview. She didn't even give a statement. The Bynes family as a whole was quiet. Why is this? Well, according to TMZ, it's because she simply didn't have a bad experience. She didn't have anything to share that would further their cause. Her parents said that they were private people and that they wanted to stay out of the spotlight on this, which doesn't mean that they didn't see or experience anything. And we just have to make a distinction there, that what Amanda said and what her parents said are not the same thing. But first, I want to commend the Bynes family. You see, there are a lot of people, this industry by its nature, there are a lot of folks in it that would see this as just an opportunity to get another 15 minutes of fame. And the Bynes family has higher standards than that. They really felt, I do think that they genuinely felt they didn't have anything to further the cause, as they said. I'm not saying that anybody who did appear on the docuseries just wanted 15 minutes of fame. I totally think that their complaints and the evidence that they showed seems very legitimate. But there are people like that out there, and Amanda Bynes is not one of them. However, to say that she was unaffected is more or less true, I would say. You see, she is Penelope taint. So even if she didn't consciously experience or wasn't consciously affected by some of these jokes and the sexual innuendos in them, she was the butt of a joke that was full of sexual innuendo, made for the enjoyment of adults who were perverts who understood and enjoyed humor like that, played out by children, okay? So in that sense, Amanda Bynes absolutely should have, if not appeared on the docuseries, came out with a statement to condemn these actions. I think it's the job of certainly her in her position, but every child actor. This is part of the reason why I decided to speak up on this, because my experience was much like Amanda's in terms of I never experienced or saw anything like what they're talking about on this docuseries during my time with Nickelodeon. At the same time, I know that my experience is not the only experience that kids have in Nickelodeon. And so I want to speak up and condemn these kinds of experiences because it's only by doing this that we can shed light on and try to push out evil like that from the industry, especially children's TV. So I do think she should have said something if it would not have further damaged her or dug up some trauma. It's no secret that Amanda Bynes has dealt with her own issues, apparently mental health issues, apparently just well-being, okay? And so if digging all this back up would have re-traumatized her in a way, then in my opinion, she gets a pass. Don't further hurt yourself or throw yourself back into some kind of spiral, downward spiral. Take care of yourself. And I'm not saying that that is what happened. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm saying if it was, I think that's a legitimate reason to stay out of it because there's a lot of legitimate pain here. And this is the kind of question that people will have. What was so traumatizing then? If not, what happened in the Quiet on Set documentary, the stuff that they talked about in that? If that didn't happen to you, Amanda, then what was the reason for all the trauma? We may never know. It could have just been the weight and pressures of child stardom. I know some of what that's like. I'm not arrogant or ignorant enough to think that I was even in the same league as Amanda Bynes in terms of the pressure or weight that she felt as a child star. No, not in the same league, but certainly playing the same sport. Now, the article continues to say that unlike Amanda, TMZ is told that the parents of Amanda Bynes actually watched the documentary and were both saddened and disgusted by the allegations. And so kudos to them as they condemned it. Amanda seemingly wants nothing to do with it, as not only did she not condemn what obviously came out over the internet, but she didn't even watch it herself. Barring re-traumatization, I don't really think that's acceptable. I think these are your co-stars. This is something that they felt, something that they went through. If it's not re-traumatizing for you, try to support them. I think not even watching it, again, I'm not going to condemn her for that, but I would have watched it. Perhaps her proximity to Dan Schneider was the reason she didn't feel a lot of what her co-stars were feeling, as an entire episode was indeed focused on Amanda Bynes, and it kind of highlighted that she was Dan's favorite. You know, I think someone said that there were very few people who made Dan laugh, and Amanda was one of those. So maybe she was protected in a certain way that gave her just a drastically different experience. But regardless of that experience, you gotta condemn this kind of nonsense. So of course, there are multiple layers to this. Let me know what you think about Amanda Bynes deciding not to be on the show, her parents doing the same thing. Was it the right decision? Was it a bad decision? Again, this is the Penelope taint, so it's not like she was not part of the sexual innuendos. I'll chat it up with you guys down in the comments below. It's YouTube, so you know, like, subscribe, click the bell so you don't miss when I drop videos just like this one. Continue to fight evil. I'll see you in the next one.